We're extremely proud now to have with us today a World War II veteran, Captain Lou Jenkins, United States Army. Lou was born August 25th, 1919 in New York City. Yes, do the math. He celebrated his 98th birthday this year. His parents were Welsh immigrants from Newport, Wales. His father, a Welsh coal miner. His mother was the daughter of a local builder. They came to the United States through Ellis Island. After graduating from the Harvey School in New York and Phillips Exeter Academy, Lou was accepted at Yale University, but instead chose to go to the Wharton School of Business at the University of Pennsylvania. His father, who had never seen the inside of a schoolhouse, lamented, "Who turns down Yale?" After graduating the Wharton School, Lou enlisted in the United States Army. During boot camp, he was chosen to attend Officers Candidate School, and after graduating OCS as a second lieutenant, Lou was sent to artillery school and then to the war in Europe. He was assigned to the 26th Infantry Division, better known as the Yankee Division, because of all the, a high number of soldiers from the northern part of the country. Lou was promoted to captain and was awarded the Bronze Star. He's one of the very few remaining troops to have fought with General George Patton at the Battle of the Bulge. After the war was declared over, Lou stayed on in Europe and was ordered to help transition civilians back to their homelands. An amazing story in itself. Later, Lou was asked by his commanding officer to stay in the Army and be promoted to major. Lou declined the offer and was honorably discharged and went back home to being a civilian again. He returned to New York and immediately had a blind date with his soon-to-be wife, Doris Mischenko. Let me pronounce this correctly now. Mischenko, an aspiring actress and radio talk host. Lou and Doris married and had 4 children, Lynn, Tom, Bob, and David, nicknamed DJ. Tom and Bob were both in the Marines. DJ tried to join the Marines after high school, but as a result of an open heart surgery at the age of 15, the recruiter wouldn't let him in. Bob's son Will enlisted as a Navy Seabee after high school as well. After the war, Lou went to work for the Manufacturers Trust Bank, which later merged with Hanover Bank to become the Manufacturers Hanover Trust Bank in New York City. He ended his career as the vice chairman of the board and was asked to be the president of the American Bankers Association in Washington, D.C. Lou has had the honor of meeting both Presidents Jimmy Carter and Ronald Reagan at the White House on several occasions. Lou retired from banking after 34 years and is now residing here in Carefree. Unfortunately, his wife Doris passed on several years ago. Lou is surrounded by his 4 children, his grandchildren, and his great-grandchildren. Now from the greatest generation, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Lou Jenkins.
After all that musical program, I want to know, where do you go to enlist? I might be a little overage and grade though at 98. I just want to chat with you for a minute. I do need notes these days because I'm not quite where I was. Hard work becoming 98. You go through a lot. But you do learn a good bit as you go along. Somebody said, when are you going to start that? So at any rate, I handled guns since I was 12 years old. My family just believed that I liked guns and liked to shoot them and had a great time. That's why I spent 4 years in the infantry division. Otherwise, I might have done something else. At any rate, I did learn that when a gun fires, that projectile twists like that and sets up a little wave by itself as it goes through the air. Now, what I need to tell you is that if ever you're in a position where you hear a gunfire and you feel a little bit of that whisper right about that far about from your ear, you want to check in with that sniper and let him know he misjudged the airwaves. Now, enough about me. Let's talk about the guys who are still in, doing things. It's hard to bring it all together with a gang like this. And we got veterans here, we got nice people here, other than veterans. And I just like to kind of bring them together a little bit for you by saying that what we did was to get together and get to know each other in a battalion sense. A battalion is made up of, it's like a small village, it's got almost everything. And that battalion then is organized into a huger organization called a division, and then that's put into a huger organization called Supreme Headquarters, and they from there tell you what to do basically, but it gets back down to the battalion, and you're going to do it like tomorrow, like General Patton said to do it. There was a thing going on which we weren't paying much attention to at that time, earlier on. So we were just moping around and killing people, you know, that kind of thing you do when you're in the service. Paid for, hell, you might as well do it. So, we got word that we were going to go back into headquarters. So we went back into headquarters, and the rumor got going. We love rumors in the infantry because it lightens up the day. And the rumor was that we were going to go on R&R. Oh, we've been on the line for 2 months, on the line. Eventually, we ended up having spent 210 days in the holes on the firing line with a casualty rate of 240%. So, you know, we weren't fooling around, we were having a great time. At any rate, this thing that was going on to the north, which nobody seemed to want to get into, was pretty serious. General Patton said, I've got a bunch of guys here that got experience, they're combat types, and nobody else wanted to go near this thing which became the bulge. This was a British breakthrough which is going to carry them right on through, and they might have won the war. You might be speaking German with your kids now. But he insisted that he could put together a group that would go up and clean up this thing. Pretty big. But he was a great guy. Best damn general that ever existed, I'll tell you right now. So anyway, he put us on the road, and up we went, and it was amazing. We went up behind our own troops to get from south to north to where this bulge thing was. It was going to the west. And as we came up, we thought we're sure as hell going to run into a lot of trouble, and we never did. We got all the way up to where the bulge was, the lower flank of it, the south edge of it, with no opposition at all. So we looked at this situation, and General Patton took a good look at it, and he says, break it up. So we did. We went in and we killed everything that was in there, just got rid of the bulge. Well, then came a neat job of what do you do after that? Because they didn't quit. They just stayed on and they kept us like, and so we started going to chase them. And we chased them, we started out on January, about the time the bulge really got straightened up, and we chased them all the way till May the 7th. And we were throwing rocks at each other that whole time. They ran and we chased. And then we got a message that said ceasefire He knew how to do that. And that was May the 7th. May the 8th, we got, okay guys, it's all over. The war's done, ended. So now what's going to happen? Well, a lot of people follow the war in Europe more so than we all do from here. And they were now interested in the political aspirations of this thing. Who was going to get control of where? Well, the heads of Russia, Great Britain, America, the United States, got together. You see their picture numerous times sitting around deciding who was going to go where and do what. A lot of people in Europe did not want any part of an area that was going to be controlled by Russia and Russians and Soviets. So they left and went to other parts of Europe. Austria got completely loaded with them. Well, you can understand, Austria's a beautiful country. Lovely lakes, mountains, nice people, good food. You must go there sometime. Lovely. So, this thing just kept on kind of going along, and we thought to ourselves, well, maybe we could put an end to this thing somewhere. Well, we couldn't. Except that there were so many people involved in going in the wrong places that we got requests to help take them back home. So now our job was to go down where all they were and put things together, which meant finding out who was where, who was a family, where'd they come from, and this is a matter of trying to get people from Austria back to Hungary and wherever they all came from. So we got that going in pretty good shape. They brought cars in and put them on sidings. We brought people in. We got doctors to examine them. All the things they had to do, and put the people on the trains in Central Home. And we tried to divvy that up so that so that people went back to where they originally very close to came from.
Microphone.
You don't take 400 people, as the order was, send as close as you can 400 Hungarians home. You don't take 400 Hungarians and dump them in the middle of Hungary and say, have a nice day. So we broke it up into train loads and car loads and so on. And everything was going along just fine, but unfortunately one of those trains, the trackage to get it back to where it came from, the people, went very close to the Russian sector. And the Ruskies did what you do. They raided it. People and things on that train were raided. Fortunately, Hungarian police and Austrian police had gotten together thinking this might happen. So I'll let you right, they stopped it. They got it caught up and they stopped it. So at that point, we're in pretty good shape. And the displaced persons matter has been taken care of, everybody's back home where they should be, and the world is at peace. That's a lie, isn't it? What I'm going to leave with you is a question. We had a big displaced person, we had a big political problem. Do we have any of that today? You know, you've got it multi-times the number of times that we have it. I would suggest that maybe you give some thought to getting together with your governing people and try to get just a little more control over what's going on in this country. Because I think that from where I stood, 200 days in the line and 240% casualty rate, I'm not sure it was worth it. I'm not being down on this, I'm just alerting you to the fact that there needs to be more control somewhere, and it should come from government, but you are the government, so a letter from you to people who control the government, 2 sentences, 3 sentences, it wouldn't be a big long letter, just get a letter out to them and get the idea across and just try to get this thing back on the normal like where I used to live. Thank you very much, nice to meet you.